The Manage Learning screen shows the primary tasks any manager, such as a manager, coach or trainer, needs to carry out in order to ensure the successful management of all tasks associated with a timely delivery of learning. The first task we should look at is the need to assign work to learners who are on learning programs. Examples of such programs would include apprenticeships and educational courses. We can of course assign learning in bulk to learners using the learning library above, but this gives us the option of tailoring the learning and set project work to match the specific needs of the individual's learning program. We can use the filters at the top of the table to search for the learner or department until we can find the learning program or e-portfolio we need to focus on. Clicking on the name will bring up the e-portfolio of the learner. From this screen, we can see the outcomes of the program. Selecting each outcome will expand that outcome and display the criteria for each and the learning resources assigned to each. Note the progress is tracked at the outcome and outcomes criteria level, so you can see how the learner is progressing against where you would expect them to be at any given time. The color coding alerts us to where learners are falling behind, and here we can see the red bar indicating to us that the learner is well behind schedule. The primary tasks we need to do here are add learning, where we can draw down learning from our learning library to supplement the training already attached to the standard. A learner will always need supplementary training, which is unique to their learning needs or level of understanding, so it is important that we can tailor the training in this way. Setting work allows us to give the learner a project or some homework to do. Once we have set up this project, we also have the option to add it to the learning library, so we can reuse the project on another learner. Finally, we can add evidence to the learner's record to show that they've put the learning into practice. This could be a video of the learner demonstrating learned skills at work or a photo of a completed project. All this learning information is mapped against the learning program's goals when added, and the progress on each is adjusted accordingly. Using this interface, you can effectively track each learning program from start to completion, whilst drawing on great learning from both online and offline sources to enhance and evidence the learning experience. The next task is the approval of learner requests, allowing them to carry out certain learning tasks. When setting up learning, some learning will have a large cost or time element associated with it. You don't want all employees taking a 6-month learning sabbatical, for instance, without this being approved by management beforehand. Approval can be granted by clicking on the Approve link. This opens up the issue details. Here you can have a look at the learning resource to see if it is a suitable learning resource. You can see if there are any comments, etc. made by the learner. If all is okay, then you can approve the learning by pressing the Approve button. Similarly, meeting requests from learners requiring assistance are listed here. These need to be approved prior to entering the diary, accessible from the diary icon at the top right-hand corner of the screen. Bookings are managed here. These are requests made by learners to carry out approved training on a certain date. You may have other plans for these learners on that day, so select the Manage Booking link and select to either approve or reject the proposed booking. Right, now we select Pending Task Assessments. A task assessment is an add-on to an e-learning module, which asks a question or questions which elicits a task response. Examples can include risk assessments, audits, etc. Anything where an action could be created as a response to the learner's answer. Here is an example. Here we can see the title of the task, and here is the guidance as to what is needed to resolve each task. The task can be actioned and then resolved. An audit trail of the actions taken is recorded here. Once an assessment has all its task statuses changed to completed, then it will no longer appear on the list of pending task assessments. If we close this and return to the list, you can see the final task here is to sign off any outstanding learning or evidence submitted by the learner as completed. Some learning can be signed off without any intervention if it is tracked automatically, examples being e-learning and YouTube video content. If, however, a manual sign-off is necessary, then we can click on the Sign Off link inspect the details of the learning resource, and if it is all in order, we can sign off the learning resource by pressing this button here. So that's the Manage Learning section of the system. This is where you'll spend most of your time. Other bulk process tasks, such as creating reports, checking ILR exports or individualized learning report exports, and assigning courses, are carried out elsewhere. Examine the walkthrough video training in other sections for further details of how this is done. Remember, should you need any further information, you can consult the manual using the link at the top right-hand corner of the screen.